I want more from you, and he's saying I want more from you. At the end of the day, the society, if you think about other people judging you, it's gonna kill you down the road.
Okay, so the snake could be society pressure. The society making her want.
You're gonna make some just stand up of your life. That's society right there.
Telling you how you should you'll live your life. Telling you need to spend more money.
More money, leave your standard, and you now preparing yourself, you and your wife and your kids. You might be going after maybe whatever fancy lifestyle.
Right.
At the end of the day, it will watch you back.
But she can't see the snake. You're right. She's maybe struggling with self-image, feeling she's not good enough. The society, Instagram, all of that stuff making her feel somehow. But he doesn't say the snake. What he will say is, stop looking on the Instagram. Why would you compare yourself to other people's? Right, that's from his side, from how he feels about life. She feels differently. Back to they are two different human beings. They have different things inside of them that they need to work on. She might have some self-doubt in herself that usually everything starts in our childhood. The way we interact with our parents creates stuff inside of us that we have wounds, things unhealed, that makes it harder to do things effectively. So if he's not expressing himself, maybe he has a dad that told him, be a man, don't talk, or you made a mistake, why did you not, everything was blamed on him as a man. And as a girl, her mom might have said, oh, why are you gaining some weight? Or mom always criticized her, so now she doesn't feel that she's good enough. And society, as the snake, is pushing, making that shows up more. He cannot understand it because he doesn't see it. So he's probably gonna say, if he doesn't see the snake, you're so selfish. I have to do all the work. Why can't you help me help you? Why do I have to do everything as a man? You know, some of those things that we hear in the society. Oh, women, they just, you know, there's all the stereotype we hear it in the community. So, and here's what needs to happen. Conflict is really important to bring growth. Without conflict, no growth happens in a relationship. Two subjective narrative and one objective one. When he starts seeing the snake, how would that change that? How would that change the communication? When he starts seeing the snake and she sees the boulder, or they tell each other about it, how would that change it? How do you think?
You had to open up yourself, both of you, to open up yourself. Okay, what we have done before, we need to bring on the table and make sure you and me go to the same page. If you are not in the same page, you're not gonna go anywhere. You're gonna kill yourself.
Okay.
Slowly, very slowly.
Okay.
Kill yourself. You're gonna be down. You make decisions daily basis.
Okay.
Or taking big decisions.
Okay.
Am I making the right choice?
Okay.
Right? So.
Well, I mean, if she still watch Instagram and every time she watch Instagram, she gets all, you know, wants to buy stuff from Amazon, how would they be on the same page? How could they get on the same page? He keeps telling her, I'm financially struggling. Stop buying stuff. Why are you so inconsiderate? What will help them get on the same page?
He has to show. He has to open up to us and listen. The money you're spending, you're showing other people. It's not going to give you pleasure to yourself. You're giving pleasure to other people, right? Because of the marketing, all this stuff, you're just getting brainwashed. At the end of the day, you are hurting your family by doing unnecessary spending.
And she's gonna come and say, you don't know how people live. Stop. Why can't you work harder to make more money? Why do you want us to stay in this world? I really want to buy this thing. This is what people live in life. Why can't we live the same way?
No, of course not. Then you gotta show them. You gotta bring in other couples, and every couple has their own story. Well, someone might say, listen, they're living like this, and I might say, oh, no, they're living like this. By the end of the day, you are eating the same food. At the end of the day, you're doing the same thing.
Right. Where in all of that, you addressed her self-doubt, though? Where does her self-doubt come in all of this? How are we addressing this? As we talk about the marketing and the money and the spending, her self-doubt is still there. She's still feeling not good. She doesn't feel she's a good person. She doesn't feel she's worthy. Does that help her make that better for her?
You as the man here to tell her, listen, no matter what, I love you. No matter what, whatever you do, I appreciate your work. I appreciate all the stuff you're doing. Get to butter a little bit.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Sometimes it doesn't work, but you know.
Women are difficult.
End of the day, you get a butter a little bit.
Okay. Well, if it's still not working though, you keep buttering it and it's still not, it's not sliding. It's stuck. What do we do?
There, so you know, that's the part of the life, part of the family, you know.
The conflict?
Conflict should be there. It's always gonna be there, no matter what.
Sure, but harmful conflict is an issue.
Yeah,
If the male is feeling that they have to keep spending money, they're short, the female keeps saying that she can't get what she wants, she doesn't feel good, and that conflict could be really hurtful. They both don't get what they want. They both are really stressed with the stuff that's happening. She feels she takes care of the kids all day long and he doesn't understand that. He feels he's working all day long and she doesn't understand that. And you're right, disagreements are really important. It helps two people clear things up to each other. It helps them learn from each other. Not you're right, I'm sorry. I can see that point. It's not. There's no right or wrong here. There's a different perspective.
When you're grown up and you can compare with, your parents might compare with other kids. And you always feel like, okay, you're behind. It could be cultural, right?
Right.
And it might affect you in that life.
Right.
It might, because in the back of your brain, you're thinking you're not good enough.
Right. Right.
Because that way you're grown up, they're gonna affect you in your family life. And then if you cannot able to overcome, then still with you, and then plus other pressure will build up, and it might get worse. And then
Right. And so being able to work on this to change it
right.
will be important to have a better dynamic.
Right.
Yet, and the difficult thing is sometimes things take time to change. Everything is multi-layers. As a human, we have layers, like an onion, layers and layers of deep things that happen to us. So by the time you try to get there, there is so much back and forth. You know, a person might be sick of it. Oh my God, I keep having to have a negative bank account. I don't know. There is no right or wrong in communication. It's all how it feels for the other person. It's a dance. If he's looking at the TV while playing and she's talking to him and she feels that's disrespectful, he can't say, no, it's not disrespectful. It is disrespectful for that person. You really need to understand that part. And maybe that's the important part, is how do we understand somebody else even though it doesn't feel the same to us? And there's the dilemma of sorry. If he looks at the TV and she says, you're so disrespectful, you keep looking at the TV when I'm talking to you. He's like, no, it's not disrespectful. And she's like, no, you really hurt me. Can you say sorry? He's like, no, I'm not going to say sorry. I didn't do anything wrong. She's like, but you did. I felt disrespected. And he's like, well, I feel like I have no say in the house. I cannot, I feel my time doesn't matter. I'm not priority. She's like, no, it's not true. He's like, yeah, it's really hurtful. I feel like you don't think of me. And she's like, okay. And he's like, tell me sorry. She's like, anything wrong? I do care for you. And they're stuck. They're back and forth. They get stuck with, they cannot say sorry because they feel from their lens the other person doesn't make sense to them. And that's where the idea of sorry is not you're sorry that you made something wrong. You're sorry that what you did made this person feel that way. It's back to compassion and empathy. I don't want you to feel that alone. I don't want you to feel neglected. I'm sorry my behavior made you feel that way. It doesn't mean I meant it. My intention is not that, but I know I'm understanding that you felt that way. And I'm going to honor that and try to do something so you don't have to feel that way again. And the same thing around. And that's where, when they start accepting each other's reality, they start, as you said, be able to work together. Alhamdulillah, that's not open. Work together to get on the table and work through things, because now they're a team versus each one is pushing for their own side. So empathy, curiosity because there's this person that feels differently, believes differently. I have to have a person needs to be curious about them, not decide what they're doing based on what we think, right? Oh, this person came to the Salah late. Oh, they don't care for Salah. versus somebody is like, I don't know why they came late. Let me be curious. Hey, what happened? I saw you late to Salah and I know you cared. What's going on? Well, I'm really having a hard time getting out of bed. I've been really feeling bad lately. That's different than just deciding what the behavior is without us thinking. A kid tantruming, person will say, oh, they're so spoiled. Are they spoiled, or are they not able to express themselves? They don't know how to stop things, so they get frustrated. Good intent, believing this person is truly not trying to hurt us, but they're reacting because they're feeling something. She's walking out, storming out. It's not happening because she just want to do it. She must be feeling something so strongly heavy that she feels the only way to do it is just to walk. Oh, I still. So here's a story. The pipette style gifting. When I was engaged to my wife, she was in Syria and I would go to Syria. I went twice to kind of, we did the nikah, 𝗕𝗵𝗿𝗏, and I'll bring gifts with me. And as a way to kind of be romantic, I would try to give her gifts in different times, in different situations. I would like hide them. I'll try to do surprises. And after a while, one day she was really upset, and I'm like, what's going on? Why are you upset? She's like, I can't believe you. Why are you doing this? Why are you giving me gifts in like a pipette, one drop at a time? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm trying to be romantic. I'm trying to be like, adventurous or surprises. She's like, no, you keep giving it to me like one at a time. I have to wait for it. It comes one every time. I have to get a little bit more. And I'm like, she's like, I'm not feeling it. Can you please just like, why are you doing this to me? So I am like, okay, at that time, I'm really sorry. And the next time I came in, I gave it to her. But I never understood. And at that time, I wasn't a counselor. I was in all different place in life. Maybe like 10 years after, when we were talking, and then she told me about her childhood where her dad will travel and come from for travel. And he knocks the door, and the moment he walks, he has big baskets for each of her and her siblings. And that feeling is what made her feel really good and loved. So I have no idea about that, but now I do. My story is, my childhood is the surprise is what mattered. Surprise was kind of exciting. Somebody's really thinking about you in order to give you this gift. But for her, that's not what she experienced. She experienced something coming all together. So my behaviors for her was like a pipette. Here, take one at a time. And back to that two different perspective of how to understand each other. The money Grinch. Another story. I was raised in a way where the way we were raised was always like ethics and morals, and money was always secondary. Like, oh, it's money. We'll take care of it later. And that, I think, taught me something indirectly, where it made it hard for me to manage money well. And it's something actually sometimes I'm still working on to be better at it. So to help my kids learn something different, I will give them an allowance, and I'll give them like ADA, all of that stuff. And when they want to buy something, let's say a shoe, and they say, I want to buy this shoe, and I look at them like, okay, it's $80, it's $150. I think $80 is more than reasonable for a shoe. If you want to get the other one, you have to pay the rest out of your pocket. And they're like, okay. So we kept doing this for a while, and one day they wanted to buy something, and she was like 13, he was maybe 9, Yara and Yasser. And they came and said, we want to buy this. And I said, okay, how much is it? And then the moment I said that, they said, Dad, can we say something? And I said, yeah, of course. They said, and they were really worried. And they're like, we're really sorry, but we feel like all you want is to steal our money. All you think about is taking our money. So I'm like, whoa, I'm the Grinch. I never knew I'm the Grinch. You only have a couple of hundred, and I'm trying to steal that from you. What a difficult feeling as a kid, thinking your dad all the time, just trying to take your money. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. What's going on? What makes you feel that way? Obviously, I could have went with, I can't believe you guys said that. This is so disrespectful. You guys are so brat. You're so spoiled. You're ungrateful. I'm giving you all this. I could have went that route, and alhamdulillah, I did not. I went with, can you tell me what's going on? That's really hard for you to feel. The one that should be providing for you is the one that's always looking for your money. And they said, well, we talked a bit, and after a while we realized that whenever we talk about anything else, I'm always curious to understand why they like it. I'm asking them questions. I'm kind of trying to the best of my ability. Obviously, sometimes I don't have the energy, but when I do, I try to do that. And the only thing I didn't do that is the buying situation. And the reason I didn't do it is because in my mind, I'm trying to prevent them from having a mistake I went through. My intention was to help them grow. The way they received it is, I'm just thinking of their money. So because when we talk about anything they want to buy, I jump straight to, this is like, how much is it? And not ask questions. So since then I switched it, and they don't feel that anymore. But if we did not talk about this, they probably would have felt like that the rest of their life, their life with me at least. And then when they move out and they're getting married and somebody says, let's join our bank accounts, they'll say, no, you want to steal my money. That's their wound now. That's the experience they had with me that caused them to see the world in a way that will impact how they respond to the rest of the world. The same thing I was impacted by the way as much as was a really caring, kind way that my parents made me live, money wasn't always a center. It still impacted how I reacted to the world, making me unable to manage, money as effective as I should be. So the patterns keep passed down the line until somebody work on themselves and break that wound to bring something more human, more fitra to life. Is empathy to agree with another person? Is empathy to give them excuse for what they are doing? I couldn't finish this slide. Sorry, just go with, is it to just feel so sad for them and feel like, oh my God, they're going through this is so hard? What is empathy? What is, I think in Arabic is rahma. What is rahma? Like what does it mean? What are your thoughts? Like what do you, yeah. Because without it, the two people on the block would never understand each other. I wouldn't understand my kids because they could say that and I could say, no, you're wrong, I'm not this way. Or my wife telling her, you're so greedy, you want everything in the first day so you can make me buy you more later, right? So anybody would like to share what they think? It's a really hard thing. I see it all the time in sessions. Like a person will say, I can't be empathic. If I do, I'll have to say what they're doing is right. I have to agree with them. I have to do what they're asking me to do. Otherwise, I'm a really bad guy. I'm a really bad woman. If they're feeling like they're feeling short on money and I don't give them money, then like, what a bad person am I? I have no heart. I have no rahmah, right? It's a really hard thing to be in. It's a challenge. It's a struggle when empathy is defined in an ineffective way. So it seems like nobody wants to share. I'll go for it. So it's not really agreeing. It's basically making it's not making them feel better with that. It's not about agreeing. It's about considering what they're going through as part of how we decide how to deal with the situation. So if somebody's going through a hard time, let's say financially, it could mean I'm not going to come and flash my car in front of them because I am doing well, or talk about what's going on with me. I can still feel for them, but it doesn't mean I have to lose myself in them, where I'm going to give them all the money I have versus having a balanced expectation of what to do. So it's not about agreeing with them or have to do what they want or just give them everything they want. It's understanding where they are and taking that as I understand, taking that as part of how I consider what I would do in that situation. And my response might be different than each one of you. We all have to decide what is right for us based on our values in life and how we want to live life. So it doesn't have one right answer, but it's not about you have to agree and give them everything they want. And that's the rahmah. The rahmah is, I think, I'm not a scholar, but I think it's Allah telling us, I know what's happening for you to do mistakes. I understand where you're coming from. I'm going to consider that in the way I judge you on the day of judgment. Remember, I always will understand where you're coming from. So remember that as you try to go and work through things, versus feeling like Allah's never going to forgive me because what I did is unforgettable. We might not even know why we're doing something. A lot of people don't actually. They do it without really knowing. People watch porn, people go addiction, gambling, drugs, they angry, they go into fights, they steal, they lie. Right, the behavior is not okay. We're not agreeing with that. Back to empathy. It's not saying, oh, it's okay, you have an excuse, but sometimes we really don't understand why a person does something unless we really understand where they're coming from. Does that excuse the behavior? It doesn't, but it gives us a lens of how can we decide to deal with it in a way that consider that situation, which in a way bring the situation in the community. How do we understand a man, a father coming to the house, killing his wife and his 2, 3, and 4-year-old children? It doesn't feel like a fitrah. Something is going on. And it doesn't have to, it doesn't have to be, oh, through a hard time. There's a reason, it's okay, it's justifiable. It's not. But how can we understand it so we can be there for him as he goes through this, and or other people in the future, so we can be able to get to prevent something like that. Life is hard. We're all judged outside the home. We're going outside, the boss is judging us, the bank is trying to take our home, there's finances we have to spend, there's AI coming. Life is tough. It's a lot of difficulty that we go through every day. And if there is nobody there to really listen to us when we come back home, to feel safe, to feel that this person wants to hear us, this person is not judging us, this person that I commit my life to be with all my life for years and years is one to work with me, to help me be a better human being, versus judges me as a father, as my father, my mother, my kids, my wife, judging me for something I'm really struggling to figure out what to do with. I'm feeling not good about it. If we can't find that home, and sometimes we can't find it in the masjid, where do we go then? Right? Where do we go? The community has a lot of judgment across the board. We all look at somebody's situation and we decide what does it mean, and we put our values on them and our judgment on them. I know I'm saying we, just saying whenever it happens, but we really don't understand what that person is going through. A person that's getting angry could be that he never learned to express themselves when they're kids, and they bottle up until they just don't have it in them and they blow up. How can we understand these things? So we talked about that. We talked about intention versus impact. My intention might not be what you receive. It's a really important concept, because just because I'm doing something with a good intention or one intention, you might receive it completely differently. It's almost like sometimes I see myself like in a big area, and I'm like gazing in the air, gazing across, and eventually I wake up and I look and I see somebody looking back at me, and I'm like, and I wonder, like, did they think I'm looking at them, or did they know that I'm looking out there in the sky and I'm not even aware of them, or the other way around? Somebody will be looking at us, and I'll be like looking around, like, why is this person looking? And eventually I'll see them that they're completely just gazing, and so I can't tell somebody's intention. But everybody get impacted differently by different things. I'm gonna end it with this, just some thought. This is the center of a lot of conflict. The Ghotman for horsemen is the center of all the work. If you have criticism in your house, judgment to each other, defensiveness, invalidation, oh, you made me feel I'm not good enough. No, I didn't. Defensiveness. It then validates another person's feelings about something. It makes them feel unheard. It makes them feel there is a block. You're not going to be heard here. Contempt, belittling. Oh, yeah, of course. She's the woman. She's going to do that. Something like that. Or, oh, yeah, the man. He thinks he knows it all. Stonewalling is when one person does the silent treatment to another person and just stop talking to them, cut them emotionally completely. If these four are in a relationship, there's 90% chance that people are living in a really, really difficult place, or they will be separating sooner or later. It's just not going to be intimate. There's no mawadda and rahmah. This is just not going to show up. Nobody's going to be feeling mawadda and rahmah with judgment, invalidation, being belittled, or silent treatment. And it's almost always there in most couples. At least I see criticism and defensiveness. If they are in disconnect, most likely defensive and criticism is there. And somebody gonna come and tell me, no, I'm not. I never criticize my partner. Yes, you're right. Maybe internally your intention is not to criticize, but somehow the way they're receiving it is making them feel criticized. And you really have to slow down and say, I'm really sorry you feel criticized by my behaviors. Can you tell me what do I do that makes you feel that way? So we can find a different dance that makes it feel good to both of us. If there's time. Okay, so I'm gonna skip that for a second. Okay, mental health, illness in parentheses, and therapy. Any thoughts before I go to this part? Any questions, thoughts? I'm gonna circle back to this community situation. It's a tragedy, definitely a tragedy, and yeah. But before we go there, I wanna just a couple of slides about mental health. Okay. What is mental health or illness? Mental health is just the well-being of a person, emotionally and mentally, just having inner peace, just feeling okay with life. I have illness in there because I know a lot of the stigma in this is the idea of illness with mental. When you put them together, it's really hard for a person not to feel something about it. Am I crazy? Am I, possessed? It's just hard for a person not to be okay with feeling that their mind is an illness. But in reality, it's not really different than a heart disease, different than a bone disease, diabetes. In the end, it's all the same. The brain is an organ. The brain needs chemical, and the brain has cells, and it reacts in its own way to life. Just like when somebody eats a lot of, cholesterol, the heart is gonna start having an issue. Same thing. Somebody that's been exposed to criticism childhood is eventually going to have self-doubt, or they're going to have anger. Something's going to happen inside or outside, because criticism is really heavy. Being judged all day long, being told by your parents, don't do this, stop doing this, why are you doing this, every day, all day, eventually going to get somewhere to the person. It's going to make them start feeling somehow. So I don't like the word illness because it makes it as a sickness. So it's basically the way I see it is a reaction to life experiences that disrupts a person's inner peace. It creates wounds for that person. Depression is just somebody's internal world and how they think the world should be isn't matching the real world. The meaning of life is completely not in place for them, and they just don't know what to do about it. So they go into a dormant state. They kind of keep thinking, and then they make a new way of looking at the world, and then they emerge to try and engage with the world. But sometimes even the new way that they created, the expectation, still does not work. They have no meaning of the world, and they go back to depression. And that's why you see a person going through depression up and down, because they still haven't put it together where what they think the world should be and the outside meaning is the same. Somebody feels that, why is there injustice in the world? Allah is just, why is He creating this? It's a really difficult thought to work through, and that sometimes makes the world feels not livable. So the person goes in trying to figure it out. If the person feel, my parents just don't love me, I'm not lovable, it's a really hard thing to be every day walking earth and having it in their mind, especially if there is no connection to Allah in a way that makes that answer clear. You go to Quran and you read listen to your parents. All of that tells you your parents are here. You have to really make sure they care for, they give you ridha, but you're not feeling that. So now you're this internal struggle of how does that person deal with this? Quran is saying one thing, the parents are doing the opposite, and now they're struggling internally. They don't know how to put everything together. Anxiety is a fear of the future, that whatever we think we're not gonna be what we want to be, and now we're worried about the future. Even ADHD, bipolar, addiction, it's all a response to environment. Most addictions are a break in the relationship with their parents, and the person is just coping. They're coping in an effective way. There's so much pain, they don't know what to do with, so they're doing something to make them just feel better. And if we judge their behavior and say, you're an addict, you don't care for yourself, you have no motivation, the person has no space to try and work through what they need to work through and to help them heal from this. Relationships heavily impact mental health. The relationship with our parents is really important, especially through childhood. A parent that when they're upset with their kid, they walk away and they don't talk to them, makes the kid feel they're not important, makes the kid feel that I always have to be careful not to make anybody upset, because the moment I make somebody upset, that person is going to stop liking me and loving me. My mom did that. My dad did that. Why would the world not do that? So that person goes into pleasing behavior. That she or he will start, wants to make everybody happy, can't handle anybody being upset with them, agree to stuff that they don't want to agree. It's really heavily impact, and then they'll have anxiety about anybody being upset with them. They can't put rules, they can't put boundaries, they can't take care of themselves because they keep wanting to make sure people are not upset. It's not to fix you. Therapy is not to fix anyone. It's a safe space to work through your own things that you want to work through. The greater jihad. It's not to tell you what to believe in. It is to tell you. It's not to tell you what's right or wrong. It's confidential and private. It's not to give you answers to your problems. It is to support you through your journey of growth, healing, jihad akbar. It is not forever. It shouldn't be forever. The therapist should always be thinking of how to get fired. It's not for crazy people. It's marriage and family therapy is not about. It's about healing It's not about fixing the problem member, the black sheep in the house. It's about reconnecting the family, helping the family understand how do they all impact each other. Even the kid impact their parents sometimes. If the parent feel that they're not good enough, and then the kid comes and they say something that makes the parents, they don't know what they're doing, the parent will get triggered and they get angry. Most of the time, as the parents, we react because of what our kids do to us internally. I have a story about this, but I don't know how much time we have. I play sometimes video game with my kid. He asked me to come play with him. Like he'll play Zelda and I'll watch him or something like that. And one day he was playing. He said, "I have this really hard area. I don't know what to do. Come help me." And I said, "Okay." I was sitting there, and every time he do something, I'm like, "Oh yeah, sir, do this. Open the door or press this," and he'll ignore me and do his own thing. After a couple of times, I got really frustrated. I'm like, "Yes, like why are you doing this? You told me to come to play with you, and here I am. And everything I say, you ignore." He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it." He was all, rattled. He's like, "What's going on?" So I was able to catch myself after a bit of back and forth, which I said sorry to him later. Again, I don't do it perfectly. I'm not perfect. I'm just trying my best again. Sorry. Okay. But then I realized he was just trying to prove himself to me. That he wanted me to see him doing something that makes me proud of him. Solve it. I don't have to help him. That's why he was ignoring me. Later, when I started thinking about myself, I remembered something that I haven't thought of for a long time. As a child, I actually used to go to people's houses to play video games. And there are two places that the people that had the console would not let me play. I would always wait to play, and they'll always either give it to me or not. Almost like my wife and the pipette. I never get to really enjoy it. Like when it's my turn, they'll say, "Oh, let's play soccer." And I'm like, I really want to play. I really enjoy those things at that time. And then my aunt bought me a console, and my dad wouldn't let me play with it. And she bought me the games we chose were really hard. I just never enjoyed them, so I never even enjoyed that part. And the funny part is, the neighbors, when they ask me to come to help them or to play with them, they usually come and a lot of times they'll come and say, "Can you help us in this part? We're having difficulty." Because I really love those things. I used to do really good in figuring out, just like what my son did. So as my son did the same thing, and I sat next to him, and he did things that for me, his intention is he wants to show me that he knows what he's doing. The impact on me is a childhood wound of me feeling that my perspective doesn't matter. I'm not going to be part of the game. I thought I forgot about this. I never thought it's still there. So since then, I actually been working on it to heal that part of me so it doesn't feel that way. And it's not a big wound, but it's one that it's impacting how I react to my kids. I actually realized I'm also buying a lot of games with my thought of like, "Oh my God, I want to play this game with him. I want to play this game with him." I'm trying to live my childhood in the present for something that is not relevant to me anymore. I'm 45. It's really not relevant. It doesn't have the same excitement. but I'm still living in that time, trying to create a memory that I wanted to live, but it's not reasonable, it's not relevant anymore. So, you know, I've a lot of games, I try to find them on, you know, discount, and I look around and I search for the games with 2 players, and we haven't played a lot of them. SubhanAllah. So it's not only to make you feel good. Therapy is actually brings a lot of in the moment. The real work in therapy is in the moment, difficult discussions. A therapist coming to the client saying, hey, I'm noticing that when you talk about people, there's always a judgment of people, but not yourself. What do you think this means to you? Genuine, authentic, not judgmental. Truly not judgmental internally. We believe this person is there because of a reason. It could be that their parents told them you're always the problem. So it's really hard for them to face themselves and say, yeah, I made a mistake. I actually just had this with a client where I texted the client, the person responded, I texted back, and then they ignored me. I texted back again, saying, hey, there's other clients on the spot, can you please let me know? They ignored me. And in the meeting, I'm like, hey, I would like to share something. I really felt dismissed when I sent text messages and I wasn't getting responses. Can you tell me what's going on? And we kind of talked about that. And it was really hard for that person to say, oh, I'm sorry. That person kept giving me excuses for things. And I kept slowing it down and saying, hey, I'm hearing defensiveness. Something is happening for you. What's going on? My parents always blame me for things. It's really hard for me. I had a reason. I'm like, I understand, I believe you. Your intention was not to dismiss me. I felt that way though. How can you explain it? How can we repair this between us? And that person wasn't able to say, sorry, I wasn't really asking for it, but I was working with her to help her get to a place where she was able to face herself, that some behavior impact other people around her, which is kind of what that person is having with their partner. The reason I brought it up because I knew it's similar to the pattern with the partner. So as a therapy, there's a lot of things we're thinking about. We're visualizing we conceptualizing the person, we're understanding what's happening with them, we remember stories about them. It's truly a human-to-human interaction that brings elements of facing a situation to be able to heal from it. It's investment in yourself and marriage and family. I was actually just reading recently, when clients sometimes come to me and say, we've been doing this for 2 years, it's a lot of hours. And I say, well, wait a second. If you want a bachelor degree, a person usually spends about, what was the number? 225 hours a semester on in-class instructions. Per year, a person will spend 450 in-class hours, just in class, not studying. And for the whole 4-year bachelor, not grad school, just the bachelor, is 1,800 hours. If we're investing 1,800 hours in class plus studying to make us have knowledge of how to do something, have a degree, what does it mean that we're not spending, if I see a client once a week, or they work on this once a week, that's 52 times a year, right? If we're not spending 2 years, 100 hours into our marriage, our parenting, our self-stuff, how can we make sense of this? The most important thing in our life is our family. Yet the time we spend to invest in understanding it and being expert in it and being effective in it isn't being spent. We say, oh, well, we were okay, our parents taught us. Sure, and we have no knowledge of it though. It's just being passed generation to generation without clear knowledge of what to do, how to deal with a tantrum of a toddler, how to deal with disagreements. These things require work and learning, but we're not doing that. So how to make sense of that? I think it's an important question. It's not to label or diagnose. I never diagnose a client. I never tell them, oh, you have depression. I try to understand their story that leads to what looks like a depression. Therapy is used to improve your self-confidence, to learn how to cut off your parents. It's not. use to cut parents, to better understand yourself, to learn how to express yourself, yes. To work on repairing relationships, yes. To prove your partner is wrong. It's never about proving anybody's wrong. To help change emotional eating, yes, it could help with that. Work on struggle with prayer, yes. To learn to do whatever you want without feeling guilty. It's never about that. To improve your parenting marriage, yes. To effectively deal with in-laws, yes. To reduce feelings of anxiety, 100%. Support your life in life transitions, definitely. To increase sabr, definitely it can be done for that. To vent about your life and people, it's never venting sessions, that's not works. To learn how to advocate for yourself, yes, that could be done there. To support and struggle with school, college, career, 100%. There's actually something called career counselors. They're more specialized in that thing, and they have different ways to help a person figure out what is best for them, and also work through their difficulty or barriers to getting what they want in their career. To repair after betrayals, mistrust, whether it's financial betrayal, emotional betrayal, affairs. It's called emotional betrayal, the affair, or financial betrayal, somebody not telling their partner that, they're spending money or something like that. It's definitely that. But I would recommend making sure you go to a therapist that really knows what they're doing. Betrayals are really, really hurtful. They disrupt the person's complete life. Unfortunately, I've heard stories. Sometimes a client comes and tells me, we went to the sheikh and he told him, my partner, my husband cheated on me and he has another person. And the sheikh asked her, do you pray? She said yes. And she said, he said, do your kids pray? She said yes. And the sheikh told her, that's between him and Allah. Just go and just keep praying. Well, that person that got betrayed is in a deep trauma. I'm not judging the person that did it. Again, I don't know the story. We have to understand. But that person that got betrayed is in a deep trauma. Their world is upside down. Their memories are being questioned. They're doubting themselves. They're doubting everything they see. They're getting flashbacks every moment of stories and images. And it's a really difficult place to be in. And if somebody told them, just go and pray, they will have so much anger and so much disruption in their life. Their life is going to be really hard. If somebody that really understands what's going on with them isn't there to support them, they will be going through a really hard time. It's actually PTSD. It's just the same thing as when people go to war and come back and they're having images, they're not able to sleep, and all of that. It's exactly the same, just the context a bit different. So it reminds me of the situation that happened in the community. Was this person asking for help? Was he telling people what he's going through? And he wasn't listened to. He wasn't understood. He wasn't supported. What if that person was going through a lot? Again, it's not justifying killing a person. It's obviously something is out of the fitrah. Life happens so much to that person that they're in a place where their fitrah of not killing someone is out of place. Their world of view, the way they're reacting to the world, is so heavy that they're willing to go and kill and not flinch about it. It seems to me there was no reaction when the police caught him. So, to work on forgiveness, yes. To agree with my opinion, no. The therapist should not just agree with the opinion. To heal from addiction, definitely, yeah. Don't worry about that part. Mental health is covered by insurance, including Medicaid and Medicare. Not all therapists will take all insurances, but there are therapists that will. There's always a therapist that could take one insurance or another, and it's highly recommended to go through referral networks. So you're being referred to a therapist that is trustworthy and they know what they're doing. There are therapists that provide discounted rates, sliding scale. There are therapists that do pro bono. I do 2 cases of pro bono at any time. There are private practices with businesses, and there's mental health agencies. Usually mental health agencies accept more Medicaid, public aid. They have more discounted rates, but a lot of private practices, because the therapists always think about being there for the community, usually they'll have something or another to be able to help if somebody needs help. Here's a list of some therapists in New York. They was given to me like an Excel sheet with names and what language do they speak. And actually, if I can open this right now, I'll just show you in a second. So you have the name of the therapist, what is their credential. Like you have licensed marriage and family therapist like me, you have licensed professional counselor, LPC, you have social workers, you have PhDs, different training, but eventually it all goes in the same way. A bit of differences, but overall it's the same. Where they are licensed New York and New Jersey and the surrounding area. Are they taking new clients? Session format, telehealth or in person or both. Population served, children, adolescents, couples, family, specific situations, areas of specialization, parenting, faith, spirituality, ADHD, OCD, grief. Different people have more specialization in different things. Insurance accepted, language spoken. I put the first 3 with Arabic language. The first 4 that speak Arabic, considering the community, contact information, and they're just saying that they agree to share with the public this information. So I don't know if I'll send that to you or print it. Yeah, some readings that could be helpful to understand communication in marriage. I think the best book that I've ever I came across is Reconcilable Differences, Rebuilding Your Relationship by Rediscovering the Partner You Love Without Losing Yourself. Those stages that I was describing, this book really goes well through them. It really helps you understand what is happening in your marriage, or what is the story. The 7 Principles of Making Marriage Work, that's the one that written this is Gottman. He's a known researcher and therapist and PhD, MD actually, psychiatrist, in mental health. He did many years he created like a lab as a home, and then the couple will come live there for like a week or 2, and they have camera and use to observe it. He did like for like 10, 15 years or something. And a lot of couples, and they looked around and tried to figure out what is going on, and that's where the 4 horsemen came from. They noticed that the people that had a lot of conflict always had criticism, defensive,ness, stonewalling, and contempt. And it tells you other stuff in the book, so it's the standard book. To understand yourself and your action in a situation, in a conflict, I will suggest one book to read is Holding Me Tight. Holding, not holding, Holding Me Tight. It's based on something called attachment theory. It's how I do mainly my work too. And that's about it. I hope that was helpful. Any thoughts? Has it been more than an hour? It's 3 o'clock. It's been just an hour? All of this is 1 hour? Oh my God, it felt like 2 hours almost. SubhanAllah. Yeah. I know the streamers cannot ask, right? Yeah.
You have your contact info?
Oh, sorry, I forgot to put that in there. Yeah, let me just let me see if I think I can do it easier from here. I'll do it from my phone. If any support could be done in any way, please reach out to me or any of the masjid or any of the people on there. We're always willing to help in finding what could be helpful. But let me just let me update this on the spot.
We'll share. We'll have it in the office. We'll share his contact information. We'll post everything, all the resources that he mentioned as well. We'll print it and we'll have it also on the bulletin board, and we'll have it in the office. So we'll try to provide all the information, make it easy, even the presentation that he'll share with us, which I will share with you guys.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people can benefit. The people that are not able to attend will have the information, and also we'll have a recording online for the people that want to share the link for family members that may benefit.
forget to, let me just, well, here's an easy way just to do one thing. Let's see. So on Instagram, you can go at Hamzah Beydoun. I don't have a business card. Huh? You have my information. You're right. I sent it earlier. So you can send that through yeah, that works. I don't think I have a phone number in there. Actually, Brother Ali also said to share the website. I can give you their website too. Inshallah. 𝗕𝗂𝗏. Thank you for being here. Appreciate the yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I hope some of it was helpful, inshallah, for someone.